Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. So today in this session, I am going to discuss one of the most important topic for your prelims examination 2024, and that is important ports of ancient India, because we have seen last 3 to 4 years UPSC has asked questions from ports as well. So in this session, I am going to discuss important ports and important areas with respect to ancient history. So let's begin with the session. Now, so I'll start with Indus Valley civilization, because Indus Valley civilization, which is considered as the period of first urbanization in Indian history. So there were some important ports because there are evidences with respect to maritime trade with other civilizations of the world. So the first important and the most important significant port of Indus Valley civilization was Lothal. So Lothal is also considered as oldest port in India. Clear? So it is considered as oldest port. Clear? Oldest port in India, and it is in modern day Gujarat area. Lothal was also the center of shipbuilding industry. Clear? So evidences of dockyards were also there. Now remains of Lothal city were discovered in 1954, and the city Lothal was excavated by Archaeological Survey of India in 1954. Now various things were discovered, like discovery of mound, township, that presence of towns, okay, and a marketplace as well as docks. So Lothal is considered as one of the most important port in terms of Indian history. So Lothal was also important port during the time period of Rig Vedic. Clear? So during Rig Vedic period also Lothal was very important. Now after this, there are some other ports which belongs to Indus Valley civilization, though those ports are not important, but you should have some kind of awareness with respect to those ports. Now, so first of all, as you can see here, so you should know the ports, place, and what was the timeline of those ports and speciality. Clear? So with this, so let me tell you that the another important port was Sutka Gandhor. Sutka Gandhor, present day it is Baluchistan region, and it was a part of Harappan civilization. Now it was the boundary actually of Indus Valley civilization in western side. Now this port was situated on the banks of river Dashak. Clear? So which means the whole Indus Valley civilization was formed on river and its tributaries. Like Indus River was the primary river and its tributaries. Then another important port was Sotkako. Now Sotkako was also present day Baluchistan region, now also a part of Harappan civilization. Now this port was situated on the banks of river Shadikor. Clear? Now these things, for example, this port is not mentioned even in the books. Clear? So remember this thing, this port was also there, and it was on the banks of river Shadikor. Then Balkot was also present day Baluchistan region, and it was a part of Harappan civilization. Now this port was situated on the banks of river Vidar. Clear? So these three are important port, belongs to Baluchistan region present day. Clear? And apart from this, Aladino belongs to Arab Sea or Arabian Sea. Clear? And part of Harappan civilization. Now Aladino was located in the region called as Pakistan, and various copper items have been obtained from this place, Aladino. Clear? So these are some important ports from Indus Valley civilization, which is like you can say these kind of questions can be asked in terms of match the columns or correct the select the pairs. Getting my point? So you should have some kind of awareness with respect to ports as well. Now another important port called as Bharuch. Yes, Bharuch is considered as one of the most important ports of ancient India. Now this port was also called as Baryazga. Clear? Now let me tell you that this port is today it is under the state of Gujarat, and it is at the mouth of river Narmada. Now there are different names of this Bharuch port, which is also called as Barukaksh or Barigaza. Clear? Now why? Because this is in Gujarat, and various foreign merchants used to come from outside in this port. Clear? So this was one of the most important western port. Clear? Now the name Bharuch was given by Muslim rulers. This name Bharuch was given by Muslim rulers. Remember this thing. Clear? So Bharuch had established trade relations with Arab countries. So they had trade relations with Arab, they had trade relations with Greeks, Africans, Romans, Chinese and Egyptians. So it is considered as one of the most important port of ancient India. Now, because this port is a terminal point for various important routes like land and sea trade routes, and various goods were transshipped. Clear? And these goods were sent to abroad by utilizing the monsoon winds. That is why this port was considered as natural harbor. Clear? Because of monsoon winds, these ports are very important. Because as we know that monsoon was discovered in 47 AD by Hippalus, and this promoted external trade and commerce. Getting my point? That is why monsoon winds are also called as trade winds. Clear? So this Bharuch was the name under Muslim rule, and under Maratha rule this port was called as Bhadoch. Maratha rule में इसको क्या बोला जाता था? Bhadoch. Under Maratha rule. Clear? Under Maratha rule it was called as Bhadoch. Clear? And under British rule it was called as Broch. Under British rule this port was called as named as Broch under British rule. Clear everyone? So this is about this Bharuch port. Now another important port from ancient India, and this question was already asked in 2023, and the name of the port is Poompuhar port. Now Poompuhar port is also considered as very important port in terms of trade and commerce. Now this Poompuhar port is also known as Camera port. Camera. Also called as Puhar. Also called as Puhar. Now as you can see this location here, it is in the state of Tamil Nadu. Now this is also known as Puhar port or Kaveri Patnam, and it is believed that this was a part of Chola Empire. Clear? And this port is situated in the mouth of Kaveri river, and also this is located in Nagapattinam district, Tamil Nadu, on the mouth of Kaveri river. That is why this port is also known as Kaveri Patnam. Now the details with respect to this port also found in one of the most famous document, Greek and Roman document, called as Periplus of the Erythraean Sea. Now in this port various Indian merchants used to do trade and commerce, and the commodities were mostly spices. Clear? And spices communities were traded with other Asian countries as well as Arab region. That is why this port is considered as very important. Clear? Now even this port is mentioned in one of the most important literature of South India called as Sangam literature. So this port is also mentioned in Sangam literature. Yes, this port is mentioned in Sangam literature as well. Clear? Like for example, ancient Kaveri Poompattinam city is mentioned in Sangam literature. It is described in Sangam literature. अब कौन से लिटरेचर में इस पोर्ट को डिस्क्राइब किया गया? फॉर एग्जाम्पल शिलापादिकरम. क्लियर? देन Pattinapalai. All these texts mentions about this port. Clear? Now another important port, Arika Medu port. Now Arika Medu is the ancient name of Pondicherry also. Pondicherry. Today it is called as Puducherry. Getting my point? So Arika Medu is considered as one of the most important port, an important center of Indo-Roman trade. Remember this thing. Important center of Indo-Roman trade. So Roman godowns were also there. Clear? That is why Arika Medu is considered as one of the most important city. Remember this thing. Now this port is also known as port of Poduki. Clear? In historical document it is mentioned as port of Poduki, and this mentions in Tamil poems as well, like Sangam period. So Arika Medu was a part of Chola. So it is also described as Chola port. Clear? Because this region Arika Medu is important for bead making industry, and this was the only port city in the region, in that means in the eastern coast, to have relations with Roman Empire, trade relations. Clear? Now, apart from these things, additional things like textiles, terracotta artifacts, plants, spices, jewelries, all these things were shipped from this Indian port to Roman Empire as well as other eastern destinations. Now, after this port, another important port is Muziris port, present day Kerala, and it was also part of important dynasty called as Chera dynasty of Kerala, Muziris port, and this was also known as Pattanam port, also known as Pattanam. Clear? Now this port is on the western coast of India. Clear? Western coast, that means Arabian Sea. Clear? So having relations with Arabs, Egyptians and all. So it was a significant point connecting the region with Persians, Phoenicians, Assyrians, Greeks, Egyptian people and Roman Empire. Now this port is known for the trade in spices. The most important items in spices was black pepper. That is why Yavan means Greek people, they used to call black pepper as black gold. Black gold. Clear? And also called as Yavan Priya. Clear? And this was one of the most important item for trade and commerce, which was exported from this Muziris port. Other commodities were also shipped from this port like semi-precious stone, diamonds, ivory and pearls. Clear? Now, apart from this, the goods which arrived as Muziris port from over 30 countries. Now you can understand the importance of this port. Now important items were like textile, wine, wheat and gold coins, etc. Clear? So this port was rich in trade and commerce. Now apart from this, Sopara port. Now Sopara port, now remember this thing, Mumbai region. Clear? Now Sopara port is also important for trade and commerce. Now अब एक चीज याद रखिएगा, that Sopara, it was also the ancient port town and also the capital of ancient city called as Aparanth. Clear? It was the capital city, ancient capital city of Aparanth, and this is located near present day Nala Sopara in Mumbai. Clear? So it is said that in ancient time this was the largest township on India's west coast. Clear? So on India's west coast this was one of the largest township, like trading with Mesopotamia region, Egypt, Cochin, Arabia as well as Eastern Africa region. Now apart from this, Mahabharata and Puran, these two religious texts also mentions that this Sopara or Surparaka. Now Surparaka was reclaimed from the sea for the dwelling place of Parashuram, and that is why it became Tirath for this region. इसीलिए ये जो Supara port है ये क्या बन गया था, Tirath बन गया था, and these things are mentioned in Mahabharata and Purans. Now apart from this port, another important port is Calicut port, also known as Kozhikode. Now it is also one of the busiest ports and trading center, and let me tell you, even the Portuguese sailor whose name was Vasco da Gama reached Calicut port only, and he was received by the ruler called as Zamorin. Clear? So this is considered as one of the important trading ports, especially for spices like pepper, cloves and cinnamon, and this was one of the important trading center during Chera dynasty. Now apart from this, textiles, spices, these were the commodities which used to travel from Calicut, and different goods such as like Chinese ceramics, European pots came in this region because as part of trade and commerce. So China से Europe's के pots, now Chinese products used to come, then European pots used to come on this port. Now after this, the most important port is Tuticorin. Tuticorin port, which is also known as Thoothukudi. Clear? This is also known as Thoothukudi. Now this port was ruled by several dynasties like Pandyas and Cholas in the past region, and it was one of the most important seaport from South India, and this was also important trading center in this region like fishing, fishery industry and pearls. Clear? And this Tuticorin port is also mentioned in Periplus of Erythraean sea. This much is clear to all of you. This is considered as one of the earliest mention of this port. Clear? Now there are some small ports. Clear? Small ports like, let me tell you, like Nirpeyaru. Now Nirpeyaru, this is located in Tamil Nadu, and this was equally important and equated with modern Mahabalipuram. Now apart from this Tondi port part of Pandya dynasty, also in Tamil Nadu region. Clear? Then Korkai port, this is also a part of Pandya dynasty and located in this Tamil Nadu. Then Motupali port. Now remember this thing, one question was asked from this, directly question पूछा गया है 2017 में. Clear? अभी मैं बाद में उस question को discuss करूंगा. Now this was one of the important port of Kakatiya dynasty and located in Andhra Pradesh region. Then Machilipatnam, also located in Andhra Pradesh region. Clear? Located in Andhra Pradesh. Now here the evidence, the most important evidence of his existence, mainly during Satavahana period. So during the time period of Satavahanas, this port was very important, and also during the time period of Golconda ruler, this Machilipatnam was also very important. So it was important during the time period of Golconda rulers. Now why this port is important? Because this port is known by the names like Masula port or Bandar port. Clear? That is why this port saw flourishing sea trade or maritime trade and commerce, and the major trade item was muslin clothes. Clear? Major trade item was muslin clothes. Now apart from these ports, now the most important port from eastern area, which is present day in West Bengal, that is Tamralipti. Now Tamralipti is one of the most important town, one of the important port during the time period of Gupta Empire, as well as important port during the time period of Mauryan Empire. So this is located on the eastern coast near the confluence of Bay of Bengal and River Ganga, and this is one of the most important trade route. Now eastern region, that is why this port was having relations with Indochina land as well as Southeast Asia. Indochina means like Laos, Cambodia, all these regions. Southeast Asia like Indonesia, Malaysia, all these regions. Clear? Now the most important inscriptions like Dudh Pani rock inscription of Udayman of 8th century AD. This inscription actually contains the last record of Tamralipti port as important port town of ancient India. Clear? So remember this thing, in the map also even Greek geographer whose name was Ptolemy, he actually mentions Tamralipti as Tamalites. So Greek geographer जो था, Greek historian जो था, whose name was Ptolemy, he mentioned Tamralipti as Tamalites. And Chinese pilgrim Huansang, who came during the time period of Harshvardhana, Chinese pilgrim Huansang called this town as Tanmoliti. Clear? Tanmoliti. So Tamralipti, one of the most important centers of trade and commerce in early historic India or ancient India, and apart from this, Tamralipti also emerged as urban center because of trade and commerce, and that is why this trade center had multi-dimensional as well as multi-directional links with different regions in Asia. Clear? So it is important during the time period of Mauryans. It was also important during the time period of Gupta Empire. Now there are certain other important ports. Clear? Like Pulicat port. Now Pulicat port, why it is important? This is in eastern coast area, and it was important during the time period of Jayanagar Empire. It was one of the most important trading center for trade and commerce actually with other parts of the world. Another important port was Barbaricum. Now Barbaricum, this port is near Karachi in Indus Delta, and this was important for Indo-Roman trade in ancient times. Now this was important for Indo-Roman trade. Indo-Roman trade in ancient time. Clear everyone? So these are some most important ports of ancient India, as you can see here, map as well. Clear? Now there was one question in 2017 with respect to port, like which one of the following was very important seaport in Kakatiya dynasty. So option A Kakinada, B Motupali, and C Machilipatnam or Masulipatam, and D. Nelluru. So just now we discussed the most important port was Motupali of Andhra Pradesh. Clear? So option B is the right answer. Clear everyone? So I hope this much is clear to all of you. So with this session we have completed all the important ports of ancient India. So revise this again and again and practice questions based on ports as well. Thank you so much.